Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a journey to the edge of our solar system to visit an old friend, a world that once held the title of the ninth planet, Pluto. Its story is one of discovery, controversy, and incredible scientific surprises. So, why was Pluto demoted, and what have we learned about this fascinating dwarf planet since? Let's find out. For most of the 20th century, our solar system map included 9 planets. The ninth, Pluto, was discovered in 1930 by a young astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh at the Lowell Observatory in Arizona. Its existence had been predicted based on what astronomers thought were wiggles in the orbits of Uranus and Neptune. They figured some unseen planet X must be out there, tugging on them. As it turns out, those wiggles were just measurement errors. So, Tombaugh's discovery was one of the most incredible happy accidents in the history of astronomy. The honor of naming this new world went to an 11-year-old schoolgirl from England named Venetia Burney. She suggested Pluto, after the Roman god of the underworld. It was a perfect fit. Not only was the planet located in a dark, distant realm, but the first 2 letters, PL, also paid tribute to Percival Lowell, the man who started the whole search. For 76 years, Pluto was our beloved 9th planet. But then, everything changed. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, our telescopes got much better. Astronomers started finding a whole host of other objects out in the Kuiper belt, the icy region beyond Neptune. Some of these new worlds were similar in size to Pluto. Then came the bombshell, the discovery of Eris, an object that was actually slightly more massive than Pluto. This threw the scientific community into a spin. If Pluto was a planet, then shouldn't Eris be one too? And what about all the others? It became clear that we needed an official definition of the word planet. So, in 2006, the International Astronomical Union, or IAU, gathered to vote on the matter. They came up with 3 rules. To be a planet, a celestial body must 1. Orbit the sun, 2. Be massive enough for its own gravity to crush it into a nearly round shape, and 3. It must have cleared its neighborhood. This means it has to be the dominant gravitational force in its own orbit, having swept up or flung away most other objects. Pluto passed the first 2 tests with flying colors. It orbits the sun, and it's definitely round, but it failed on the 3rd rule. Pluto's orbit is full of other icy bodies from the Kuiper belt, and its mass is just a tiny fraction of all the other stuff in its path. It hasn't cleared its neighborhood at all. And so, with that vote, Pluto was officially reclassified. It was demoted to a new category, a dwarf planet. So, what is Pluto now? It holds several titles. It's the most famous dwarf planet, serving as the prototype for this new class of worlds. It's also a trans-Neptunian object, meaning its orbit lies beyond Neptune, and more specifically, it's a Kuiper belt object, a frozen relic from the dawn of our solar system. Let's talk about just how small Pluto is. Its diameter is about 2,376 kilometers, which is less than 20% of Earth's diameter. In fact, it's only about 2/3 the size of our own moon. Its mass is even more surprising, just 0.2% of Earth's. You'd need about 500 Plutos to equal the mass of our home planet. Pluto's journey around the sun is also pretty wild. It takes 248 Earth years to complete a single orbit. And that orbit isn't a neat circle. It's highly elliptical, like a stretched-out oval. This means its distance from the sun varies dramatically. At its closest, it swings inside Neptune's orbit, and at its farthest, it's billions of kilometers further out in the cold darkness. A day on Pluto is long, lasting about 6.5 Earth days. And like Uranus, it's tipped over on its side, leading to some of the most extreme seasons in the solar system. For decades, all we could see of Pluto was a blurry dot. But that all changed in 2015. NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto, giving us our first ever close-up look, and what it revealed was absolutely breathtaking. It wasn't a dead, icy rock. It was a stunningly complex and active world. The most famous feature is a giant, heart-shaped plain of nitrogen ice, officially named Tombaugh Regio in honor of its discoverer. The left lobe of this heart, called Sputnik Planitia, is a massive glacier. The incredible thing is that it has almost no craters, which tells us the surface is incredibly young, less than 100 million years old. This glacier is constantly churning and renewing itself, a clear sign that Pluto is geologically active today. Bordering this icy heart are towering mountain ranges, but these aren't mountains of rock. They're mountains of water ice, which is as hard as rock at Pluto's frigid temperatures. Some of these peaks soar 3 to 4 kilometers high, rivaling the Rocky Mountains here on Earth. New Horizons also found bizarre, blade-like terrain that looks like giant knives sticking out of the ground, and even possible cryovolcanoes, ice volcanoes, that may have once spewed a slurry of water, ammonia, and methane. Pluto even has an atmosphere, though it's incredibly thin and fragile. It's made mostly of nitrogen, with a little methane and carbon monoxide. This atmosphere isn't permanent. It only exists when Pluto is closer to the Sun, when some of its surface ice turns directly into gas. As Pluto moves away on its long, cold journey, its atmosphere freezes and falls back to the surface like snow, waiting to be reborn on its next spring centuries later. And Pluto isn't alone. It has a family of 5 moons. The largest, Charon, is a giant. It's about half the size of Pluto itself. In fact, Charon is so big that it doesn't really orbit Pluto. Instead, Pluto and Charon orbit a common point in space between them, like 2 dancers spinning around each other. This makes them a true binary system. Charon is a fascinating world in its own right, with a mysterious reddish-brown polar cap and a massive canyon system that dwarfs our Grand Canyon. The other 4 moons, Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra, are much smaller, irregularly shaped, and tumble chaotically through space. So, even though it lost its planet status, Pluto has never been more fascinating. The New Horizons mission turned it from a distant point of light into a vibrant, complex world. The discovery of its ongoing geological activity was a game-changer. It showed us that even small, cold worlds, so far from the sun's warmth, can have active interiors, likely powered by leftover heat from their formation or the decay of radioactive elements. Studying Pluto is like opening a time capsule. As a resident of the Kuiper belt, it's a pristine relic from the formation of our solar system 4.6 billion years ago. It teaches us about the building blocks of the outer planets and the ancient conditions of our cosmic neighborhood. The Pluto-Charon system, with its entourage of smaller moons, is like a miniature solar system, offering incredible insights into how planetary systems form and evolve. In the end, Pluto's demotion wasn't a downgrade, it was a promotion. It became the king of a whole new category of worlds, forcing us to rethink what it means to be a planet and revealing that the outer reaches of our solar system are far more dynamic, diverse, and exciting than we ever dared to imagine. What do you think? Should Pluto be a planet again? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this cosmic journey, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more adventures through space. See you next time.